You're getting a little heat by some because this high-speed rail between Tampa and Orlando, you have until, I think, Friday, right, to decide whether or not you're going to take these federal funds or not. And you've got some who've gone to court today against you. What's your problem with this high-speed rail train?
Well, the federal government has offered us $2.4 billion. All right? $2.4 billion. But, all right, they're not going to cover the cost overruns. These projects always go over in cost. They're not going to cover the operating costs. They always lose money. And they're not going to, if it ever gets shut down, we have to give the $2.4 billion back. I represent the taxpayers of the great state of Florida. I'm not going to put them on the hook for a project like this. So, and they've not convinced me that we're not on the hook.
All right, in terms of this train, what about getting trained from Tampa to Miami? I mean, to go north and south rather than this one corridor, because I actually know the area between Tampa and Orlando, and you can probably drive it in an hour and a half with $60 worth of gas. So it's, although it clogs the highways, of course, but north and south is a far bigger problem in your state.
Here's what we need. We need ports. We need expansion of ports. Think about it. We got the expansion of the Panama Canal in 2014. We need to dredge some ports to 50 feet. So we need to get Miami done, Jacksonville done, probably another port done. We need to make sure we build our highways so the transportation can get out. Connect those ports to our rail system. That's where the money needs to be spent.
Will they give you the $2.4 billion or whatever it is for that purpose or
No.
not? It's just earmarked for the trains only.
It's trains. They're committed to high-speed rail. And I'm committed to making sure I get our state back to work.
When you met with the governor, the president, actually, all the governors the past weekend, did you think that the president understood your state's problems?
No. I mean, I asked him, I said, look, here's our problem. We need jobs. We're competing with other countries. And so high corporate tax rates, the deficits, the increased regulations happened the last 2 years, all that's doing is impacting jobs. Obamacare is killing jobs because it's not focused on driving down healthcare costs, it's raising our cost of doing business. So we need to stop and think, we're competing with all these other countries. We can't treat business people worse or the dollars will go someplace else.
And he doesn't get that, you don't think?
Based on his actions, he doesn't.
What about the national health care? The federal lawsuit actually is in your home state. It's right in northern part of Florida, and the judge has declared the statute unconstitutional, the entire statute. Are you going to take any steps to implement the national health care before it gets to the Supreme Court and we get a final decision? Sure.
Our Attorney General did a great job making sure we won that lawsuit, and she will continue to do a good job. We are not going to implement it. It's unconstitutional in our state. It's not the law of the land. I'm not going to implement any of that bill. It's bad for patients, it's bad for taxpayers, it's bad for business.
Do you fear, though, that down the road you'll lose it in the Supreme Court and you're sort of behind the eight ball because you haven't taken any steps to implement it?
No, we're not going to lose it in the Supreme Court. And again, if we do, I don't think we will lose it in the Supreme Court. I believe it's going to get repealed. We all know that is a horrible law for patients, for taxpayers, and for businesses, and that is jobs.
If you have one message for the president, what's that?
I would stop and think about how he's impacting the job base in this country. I mean, our biggest problem in our state is jobs. We have 1 million people out of work. We need to treat business people differently. We need to say, we've got to reduce our taxes. We've got to reduce the regulation. We can't have these deficits. We've got to say, how do we compete with these other countries? That's what he needs to be focused on.